Hi everyone, I hope you're good guys and welcome for a new video. So today the video a little bit different. Today we're gonna talk about the Push 2, and it's not gonna be a review, it's not gonna be a tutorial. I'm just gonna explain to you why I love it so much and how it completely changed my workflow and the way I'm making music. So basically I've got this Push 2 since 2.5 years now, and I'm just gonna show you why I love it so much. If you wanna find out more about how to use it, Ableton Chapter got a lot of very nice video explaining every function, what it does, and yeah, this video is ready to show you how I use it on a daily basis. If you're familiar with my video and especially my live stream, you know that I like to use it a lot. And yes, let's get started. So first, why I love it so much is just looking beautiful, and it might sound superficial, but the thing is it's really making me feel to make music, and I feel really inspired just by seeing it, and it's really pushing me to go inside, make music instead of having a fade controller with no really visual feedback, which is kind of cold, and here you have a very nice screen and you know which encoder, what is controlling, what it's doing. You have a beautiful pad matrix, and that is the first important thing that I like a lot with this controller. Is it looks great, it feels great. I have this controller for 2 years and it's just worked as perfect. The only thing I have this encoder which is a bit wobbling, but it's still working as a treat. Always works perfectly, everything is still there, and yeah, it feels pretty solid too, so that's a good point. Before to really start into digging what I really like about it, there is just few functions that are really good, and you might think that they are like just basic stuff like playing or recording or muting. You know, you can easily mute track, you can easily select track, you can solo one when you are working on it, you can undo, delete stuff, and you might think that this is just like basic stuff, but honestly it's improving a lot your workflow and it's making your experience way much more fun. And when it's more fun, it's more enjoyable, and you spend more time making music and you get better quicker. So the first thing I love the most is like it's a real instrument, and you can see like here you have this matrix pad and you can easily play, and you don't need to know solfege. You have the scale mode, which is basically like the scale device in Ableton, but straight away integrated to the hardware, and you can easily change the scale you are, the note, the root note, C, G, or A, and change the minor, Locrian, Phrygian, whatever you like, and you can. And that's really cool because usually I'm in minor, but if one day I feel like let's inspire, I'm gonna say okay, let's change the scale, and I'm gonna go in midi and augmented, and I have no idea what it's doing, but yeah, that's pretty cool. And you can switch back in chromatic, and basically the one in yellow are basically the root notes, so it's A at different octave, and the one lightened are the note in the scale basically, and the one in dark who are not lightened are the one who are out of the scale. So it's really nice because you can, what I like to do is stay in the scale, but sometimes playing one note out of the scale, and it's giving this nice vibe, and it's really cool in techno as well. So that's first thing. And one thing you can see, like you have 4 octaves, so basically with just one hand you can easily switch from one octave to another, and this is cool thing as well in techno. And yeah, that's pretty cool. That's something you cannot do with a keyboard. So yeah, that's if you're not a keyboard player and you don't know nothing as solfege like I am, that's a really good instrument for you. Yeah, the cool thing is if you work as well with rack, or if you work with Ableton device, you have the screen with the 8 macro, and that's just like, and you can quickly change the sound you can quickly get inspired, having idea. And you have this repeat note that I like as well, which is basically acting like a harp, except it's mono. Like if you play chord, it's not gonna play chord, but that's really cool. I'm just gonna reduce this. It's really cool to have different kind of rhythmic melody, you know, instead of having one. And yeah, that's another function I like to do, the repeat. It's really good for the drums. And speaking of drums, let's jump, so you can see how easily I can switch into my kick. I can just program a kick. And let's go into this drum rack. So you have different layout, so you have different layout. So you have this one, which is 16 different kind of velocities. So it's really nice, especially with the hats, and let's say with the close eye hat. So here again, I made a rack, especially a preset drum rack. I will put the link in the description if you want to have the same, and you can have easy access to control. And that's really good, because what I like with the drum sequencer, and it completely changed my way of creating drum loop. Basically before the push, I was only using audio loops, and then since I had the push, I started to use the drum sequencer, the step sequencer, and playing with velocity and delay. And you can get really original hats loop, and it works as well with percussion. It works as well with send, basically. So you can either engage the repeat and then doing this way and just record. So for example, now I want to solo here because I don't want the kick. I just press solo here and I can focus here. And yeah, I can add variation. Let's say I want a stronger hat on the half beat. So obviously here is playing your kick and this is the half beat. So, and you can add variation. You can maybe play with other kind of velocity. Oh. And the cool things is in the drum rack I have created, I have some return inside, so I can straight away add some reverse or delay. So I just go to mix and I select the close eye hat, and here I have my 4 cents. So the first one is reverb, and then you have 2 delay and kind of SFX1. So I can straight away add a bit of reverb and a bit of delay if I want to add a bit of groove. And another cool thing, I switch back to device and I have the decay, so I can automate that as well. So I just press record. And yeah, I've got a very nice groovy close eye hat pattern. And then you can just switch on the open hats, and same principle, you can bring back, remove the solo, and again play with the velocity, maybe add open eye hat, add a bit of reverb. Hope you can find it as well. Maybe I can solo if I feel to hear it a little bit more. So you see, I can put solo and I can go back to mix, add a bit of delay as well. Okay, remove the solo. And I feel they are too loud, so I can add a clap. So you can either play straight away, I'm not really good at that, but yeah, that's the cool thing. You can, if you're not really good at that, you can just program them. One thing I like to do with the clap especially is you select the 4 notes and you click and you can nudge them. I'm gonna augment the velocity as well. I can, so you know the nudge is gonna bring them a little bit before, so it's nice if you want this snappy effect that you can have with the clap or the snare. And then you have a snare here, so it's here it's nice maybe to, or you can play with two different velocity with the repeat and again you can, if I want I can automate the decay. Yeah, just feel free to. And here again I can mute some part of my drums. And yeah, you can see how you can easily change from one track to another. So yeah, if you leave it, you can lock the mute and you can like basically mute everything you want straight away here. So that's very convenient, especially when you're in session mode. But anyway, otherwise just click there and let's jump into the bass. And so here is an arpeggiator and it's like a predator of my Techno bank, but you can just that's what I like to do. And you can switch. So now one thing I love is the melodic sequencer. So you have these 64 notes that you can play. You have this melodic sequencer here where you have one octave from another and it's 8 step. This one I barely use it. Or you got as well this melodic sequencer which is 32 step. And here basically you can play chord if you want, but here it's bass line, but I will show it with the chord later. And you can play chord and put them on the grid. And one cool feature I like, it's like the parameter lock on the Electron machine. So that means like each step you can automate different values. So for example, you can play with the filter and play some of the notes with a more open filter than the other one. So for example, let's say the one with the bigger velocity, I can open the filter a little bit more. And let's see. Now you can see that all of the one with the lower velocity, they're gonna have 182 Hz, the filter, and the one with the strongest velocity is gonna be more, you can see 600 and something. And then you can, and yeah, one thing you can do easily it's add device. I usually don't do it because I'm faster with the mouse and the keyboard, but you can easily add device. And for example, if you want to add a bit of sidechain compression, you go to your compressor and you just click on load, and then you click on the compressor again, and here you have the main parameters, sidechain, sidechain EQ. So sidechain, you're gonna ask your kick, don't forget to activate the sidechain, and then you have a sidechain EQ because you just want the top of your kick. So sidechain EQ on, high pass, and a bit of Q, and then you should have, let me go back there, maybe you're gonna put in solo just 4 of ratio, then you, and let me check. Then you have your sidechain, then go back, and you have your sidechain set. So that's usually, honestly, I do it with the mouse and the keyboard, but just because I'm so used with the mouse and the keyboard, that is the kind of stuff that I still haven't take the time to get the reflex to go it straight away with the compressor, because it's just a habit. If you know everything where it is in like in 2 seconds. It can be done. The only thing is always like to add the device. It's always super long because you have to click there, go in the menu and sub menu and stuff like that. But then once you have the compressor loaded here, it's super fast to just go there. But yeah, honestly, I still do a lot of my setting on my effect with the keyboard and the mouse. It's just when there is macro, for example, if I go here, when there is macro, obviously, I'm gonna, for example, here I'm gonna select, I know there is this drum rack, I know I can quickly add a bit of reverb and delay, so yeah. So yeah. And yeah, what I was saying here, I'm gonna I'm gonna put the filter down. So you have the mixer as well, but honestly, same. The mixer I don't use as much, but you can obviously, you want to mix everything from there. But yeah, once again, this usually I do with the mouse and the keyboard directly. So yeah, that's pretty much how I use it. Again, here like you can go to clip and make it longer maybe if you want. You can go a bit off grid if you feel, augment, reduce the velocity. That's really up to you. And yeah, easily. And that's why I love to work with rack, and I do that many rack, is because just after with this 8 macro, like things is just so easy. I can just tweak everything so quickly, and yeah, it's way much more fun. And obviously it's good to have things, if you want to do only push only track, what I do sometimes, you know, for example, if I don't feel inspired, I like to say, okay, today I'm gonna just use the push to make music, and usually I'll come with something, or even if I don't come with something, at least I practice, and I don't close my computer, I do another things, I still keep practicing and challenging myself to just use the push. So that's a good thing you can do as well. But yeah, other than that, it's good here, like what I was saying, like the minute lockdown. And one thing I haven't talked about is the session mode. So obviously that's pretty good as well. So you can use the arrow to navigate in your session mode, in your session view. One thing you can do, obviously, when you have enough material, you can like make different kind of variation, and then after just jump from one to another. Honestly, the session view is more like when you do live performance and you have your live set, like I do, and it's good and it's easy to jump from one thing to another. But yeah, obviously here you can just like take this clip, duplicate, and then let's say of this one, the second one, you wanna get rid of the snare, or actually you can just do like delete snare, delete on the clap, and then you have and you can do the same here. If you want to add a chord variation, you can just duplicate this one here and go back in notes, chords, and then maybe the second one just like this, and then yeah, yeah, but this is kind of how to show you here is I wanted to do a video on how I use my push in my live set, and I will probably do another video on that where I explain much more like how I use this session view. But yeah, I think I show you all the main things that I use. So let's talk about one thing. It's a bit pricey, honestly, this hardware, I reckon, but honestly there is no other hardware which is doing what this does. And honestly, the pads are great, the screen is gorgeous, the knobs are good and feels good, and you have a feedback of what you are doing, and that's really important. It's just not one row or knob and you don't know, you don't remember, or you have to write it down what it does, everything. You have just this screen and it's very convenient. So yeah, now the £1 million question is, should you buy it now or not? So because this one has been released, like it's gonna be 5 years in November, and it's old, but there is a lot of chance that a new one is on the way, a Push 3. You might wonder if it's worth it to buy it now or to wait maybe the Push 3. The thing is, I don't know honestly when it's gonna be the Push 3. What I know is that this is a really good piece of hardware, and even if the Push 3 is released in 6 months, I will still keep this one. I think I'm never gonna sell this because it just works so well. And even in 3 or 4 years, the screen is gonna still be super decent because it's really looking nice luminosity. I don't think the encoder will be broken. I don't think the push button will be fucked up. It's looked very solid. So I don't know honestly what they can make better on the next push. And I don't know if it's gonna be a next push. We don't know actually. But yeah, if you don't know to buy or no, I will still recommend to buy it honestly, because even if there is a Push 3, it will still be a good piece of hardware that you can use. And the thing is, you can still think, oh okay, they're gonna probably release a new one soon, and I've seen people on the forum saying that already 1 year or 2 years ago, and so you can just spend your time to wait that a new version of the new Sense is gonna come out, and on the end you never buy nothing. So it's up to you. Honestly, this is something like in 5 years, it's still gonna be up to date. If you check the Push 1, honestly, it's still a super decent piece of hardware. Just the screen is a little bit old, but this screen here is like color and it's nice, and it's not tactile, but this I don't give a shit. And this screen in 5 years is still gonna be super decent. So yeah, honestly, go for it. It's quite expensive, but for me it's totally worth it. It's the best piece of hardware I ever bought. I will never sell it, honestly. It works well. It's improved my workflow. It's improved my way of creating music. Now I'm creating my own drum hooks. I'm creating melodies from this. I'm not struggling and knowing which note is what. I can sequence things. I can switch from one track to another, mute easily. It does like what you need, like 5 different controllers to do what this does. Yeah, I hope you like the video. If you want me to do more video like gear review like this, just let me know in the comment. We'll probably do a Mini Brute 2S review as well if you want. So just let me know in the comment. And thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you like it, and see you soon. Bye, guys.